We're now joined by Ambassador Medina Wesseh, the Secretary General of the Mano River Union and a member of the International Working Group supporting the advancement of Gender Equality Initiative. Glad to have you join us, Medina.
Thank you very much
for joining us.
All right.
Good evening.
Let me start by asking your response to the Minister's take on the alteration bill seeking special seats for women. And by the way, what does she even mean by special seats? Emphasis on the special.
Well, thank you very much. I think today's session, it was commendable, was full of energy, and I must say, just meeting the minister for the first time in person, I think development workers would say she's a bundle of energy. I like her commitment, I like her courage, I admire that she's being true to her conviction. Now, what does it mean? It means you must believe in something. So here we are, a great country like Nigeria, and as the Africa Director for NDI said at the close of the meeting, when Nigeria speaks, Africa listens. If Nigeria leads, and when Nigeria leads, Africa will follow. And you just played a clipping just a while ago that shows that the current statistics for representation in the parliament is just about 4%. So I think the Minister of Women Affairs has seen that as a leader on the continent, Nigeria lags behind in that. So it's a matter of how do you find ways and means, what's the mechanism to put in place to get women more numbers, more representation? Because if you must change many things, it's actually where it matters most in the parliament. That's where laws are made and that's where they change. So what does she want? I'm sure she's tried several ways. And I think we're at the point where it's like, okay, men cannot allow us to take from them, so let's add some more. So it's just, so the alteration of the bill, House Bill 1301, seeks to remedy that deficiency and at the same time allocate one seat. So there's going to be, the proposal seeks to show that there are three seats for senators, so additional one seat. And that one seat in each of the 36 states will be contested for by women. And at the lower house, you will do 3 representatives more. So, you will have a total number of...
an additional 111 in addition to the 469 presently.
Yeah.
Don't you think in a time where the argument is for smaller government, cutting cost of governance and all of that within Nigeria and other African countries, including, of course, the Mano River nations, to which you belong, does this not fly in the face of that? And wouldn't it fly also in the face of the Constitution that guarantees the right of every Nigerian not to be discriminated against on the basis of gender? Because the men could say, you're denying us a position just because we are men. Don't you envisage problems down the line?
The good thing about today's session, we were taking through, we're going down history, the memory lane of history, putting this bill, the call for the amendment to the bill down, memory lane on the advocacy that women have had over the years. So Professor Jibril Ibrahim of the Center for Democratic Development, a researcher and a professor, took us through the passage of time and what has been done over time. So we were brought to look at, we were made to look at some elements in the Constitution. Most people read the Constitution like literature. Some read it for fun. But when there are issues, then lawyers take to the words and they have a certain meaning. And sometimes they come, I remember when we were doing a referendum, so-and-so and, or so-and-so but in one country, and but meant so many things. So here, Professor Jibril is reminding us that the Constitution, the foundational document, is saying that the Constitution guarantees social justice for all. Women constitute 52% of the population. So if you have 52% of the population, is 4% representation justice? Is that equal? So certainly not. We must be able to take a step back and look and say, how can we say this, the preambles in the Constitution, how can we say that we are doing justice, social justice to all? So that's one aspect of it. And the argument on burdens, you can always look at the priorities upon priorities. But if you take it in the socio-economic and political context over time, like many people said today, perhaps it's about time that we allow women to come more into governance to see what better they can
bring to the table.
Yes.
All right.
So here we are. It might cost the government of Nigeria 12 billion, this additional seats. And you look at all your development priorities, and there will be the economists and the econometrics who will sit out to say, let's look at this. But we must also look at cost-benefit analysis from a different perspective. Now, this is a priceless innovation that you are bringing in to the body politic.
All right.
So allow this to come in to see, and this bill is saying 4 electoral circles. See whether this is an experiment that will be useful in after 4 electoral circles. See whether it will bring the necessary peace, the necessary stability, the necessary difference.
All right.
Because those are the kinds of dividend that you don't put value on, and you really want to see women at the leadership. And again, most times people will say, but I mean, look at the kind of women who get into governance. I don't want to say we also ask.
All right,
look at the kind of
before
men
we
who
let you
get
go, just briefly, maybe in under 50 seconds, I want to call a spade and not an agricultural instrument. The huge governance. I'll talk about it because we're talking about even having unicameral
legislature.
I hear women are saying add more, and everybody's talking about huge governance build. I mean, couldn't you have thought about something like maybe remove one man and put one woman, so you have 2, 3 instead of adding? The huge governance cost is would that allow it to pass?
Yeah,
is it going to be an uphill task for you?
The beauty about
and the reaction
this,
of men to it, anyway, may I add that? Just
yes.
50 seconds? Yeah.
The beauty about this is that we are seeing that the right people, the right stakeholders are being brought on board. Like I said, in my previous life, I was a communications person. In communications, you need to know who are the opinion leaders, the change makers, those who resist change. So this conference today was really a very beautiful innovation, men's conference, to discuss what gender-sensitive constitutional review and reform. So I think that if you look at it down the road, you will see that this is not an exercise in futility, but it's a historic making day today.
Yeah.
And thanks to the NDI that set up this International Women's Group to support the local group, the ownership is with the Nigerian local group that they are saying we are doing this much and we're happy to be able to bring in and support this.
And we wish you the absolute best. I mean, to think that men are, on the driver's seat of this one. Thank you so much, Medina Wesseh, Secretary General, Mano River Union. Thanks for joining us.